Hi, third graders. I'm gonna start sharing my screen so that you can have a little video to correct your day 4 for daily math today. So let's get it going. Here we go. All right, so we're week 4, day 4. Gosh, I can't believe we're already in week 4. Hard to believe, just crazy. Let's start up at number 1. Remember that you are correcting with a pen. Doesn't have to be the ballpoint. You may choose your own. No more pencils. This should be done already. So now this is where you can change your answers if you didn't get them all correct, or if you need to add something that you didn't add, but I want you to be using your pens to do that. Okay, here we go. Number 1, remember there are 2 equations, both subtraction, and I hope that you're looking for something in common. Find some similarities. I'm noticing that there is an 8 in each one, a -8 actually. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first one. 18 minus 8, I know that equals 10. If I don't just know that, I have a couple of strategies. I can rewrite this horizontal equation vertically, up and down. That's what vertical means. I can start in the ones place. 8 minus 8 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. That gets me to 10. I could also count up if I like addition. I could start. I know that addition and subtraction, those are the inverse. Remember, they're opposites. They go together. If I start at 8, I can count up until I reach 18, and I will have to count 10 more. Okay? Now when I look at the second one, 28. Well, that kind of has that 8 again in the ones place, but I notice that there are now 2 10s. Well, in the first one, there was only 1 10, so that means that the tens place must have more. It must have one more, making it a 2. And I know 8 minus 8 is 0, so it's 20. When I go backwards to check my work, I know that 20 plus 8 equals 28. Remember, I can do one-way subtraction. My check is always the inverse. So this one would be addition. All right, there you have it. Give yourself a mark for number 1. Please add the correct answer if you did not get it. Number 2, these are both, I'm always checking my signs. These are both addition, and they've been written vertically for us, which I love. These are fast facts. You should know these. 7 plus 9, 16. 17 plus 9. Now look, I didn't have anything in the tens place. Now I do. That must mean, again, my tens place just grew by 1. If I wanted to do it more simply, making new groups, if I start in the ones place, 7 plus 9 is 16. The 6 goes down. I made a new group, and then I can add up the tens place. 1 and 1 is 2, 26. All right. Looks like I've got a piece of a ruler and I have a crayon. So it asks me, how long is the crayon? This clearly is in inches. They've already put the units for me, which is fantastic. And I'm going to look here. 1 inch, 2 inch. Well, it's not to 3. And it's right here. If I look at the tip of the crayon, it's going right there. That's in the middle. So when it's in the middle on a ruler, we call that half. Sometimes you might see half written like that, 1/2. You could also think of half as 0.5. It's half of 1 whole. So I would say the crayon is 2.5 inches. I'm going to label mine like that. If you did 2.5, that would also be correct. I always forget to give myself marks. Make sure you're checking yours off. All right, let's move on. Number 4. Write the correct symbol in the circle. Looks like we're comparing. We've got less than, equal to, and greater than. So again, these coins that are on paper, very difficult to determine. This one looks like it's going to be a $50, but it kind of looks like a dime, even though it's not so small. I'm going to call this a $50. Half of a dollar is worth 50 cents. I know that, George Washington. These are quarters. How much is 1 quarter worth? I hope you said 25 cents. And I'm going to write it again because we have 2 quarters. So I'm going to add those 2 up. 25 and 25 is 50. If I didn't know that, I could make an equation. I could write it vertically. Boy, we're using that word a lot, aren't we? 5 and 5 is 10. Made a new group. 2 and 2 is 4, and 1 is 5. I have 50 cents on one side, 50 cents on the other side. They are the same, so we say they are equal. You should have an equal sign in there. All right, give yourself a mark. And finally, we always end our daily math with a word problem. So remember, your word problem is not just the answer. You should have an equation or a picture, something written down to explain how you got your answer. Let's read it. Jamal rides his bike to school and back home. It is 2 miles each way. How many miles does he ride in 5 days? I'm going to use my highlighter for this. I'm going to look at it again, and I'm going to start highlighting some important information. He rides it to school and back. Okay, so he goes one way to school, and then he goes another way, probably home. We'll just say back. So he goes 2 ways, right? Sorry, now you can see it. It is 2 miles each way. Okay, so that means when he starts here, this is where he starts. It's 2 miles for him to get to school. That's an abbreviation for miles. And then when he's back here at school, sorry, and he has to go back, it's 2 more miles. So 2 miles each way. So that means every day he's going a total of 4 miles. 2 miles there plus 2 miles back. So when I add that, it's 4 miles. Now, we're not done. Okay. How many miles does he ride in 5 days? So remember, we always go to the question because that's where we find out what we need to solve. How many miles in 5 days? So I'm thinking of a couple different equations that I could do for this. I know that 1 day equals 4 miles. So that means I'm going to be counting by 4s. So if I do 2 days, I'm going to increase by 4 more. So 4 and 4 more makes 8. 3 days, I'm on 8, so I've got to add 4 more, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 days, I'm still skip counting by 4s. I'm at 12, and 4 more, I know that's 16 miles. Oh, I'm gonna have to squeeze it. 5 days. I'm at 16. I'm skip counting by 4, so I'm gonna add 4 more, would be 20 miles. He goes 20 miles in 5 days. Now, some of you may have figured out you could also use multiplication for this. If he's going 4 miles each day, and we want to know for 5 days, we can multiply by those 5 days, right? 4 groups of 5. There we have it. I could quickly skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, because it was 4 miles each day. And that would also get me 20. So this would be a skip counting kind of a chart. And this, kind of messy, I'm so sorry. This could be another strategy to think about using multiplication, which we're getting pretty good at, third graders. All right, give yourself a mark for that one. You did not need to do both ways. You did need to do a strategy though. So be sure that you've shown me your work. All right. If you have any more questions, you can get a hold of me and we will talk soon. All right, great job.